one topic. If you wish to testify and to be heard, you need to have signed in. Given the number of people that we have, and the fact that morning comes at daylight, we may or may not have everybody testify, nor have everybody have as much time to testify as they would wish. I would tell you that we do have a statement from the Zoning Commission, and we have had at our disposal the transcript of what was said there.
I promise I will.
So you have probably already testified that we know of, because we have it by way of transcript.
We are recording.
We have no desire to keep anyone from speaking, so we will see how we can make this work. Now, our clerk there told you that this is recorded. We're required to have it recorded. This is a semi-legal proceeding. We are required as the trustees to make a decision to either allow the property in question to be changed from rural residential to commercial, or to remain rural residential. That's what we are charged with doing. There is there is one way that you can contest our hearing. You can take it to Mr. Randy Neese's court, and he can hear the case there. So this is the final decision here, other than if it goes to court. So it could be heard there. So that's part of the reason why we have to swear every morning. So if you have signed up that you want to speak, then I need to have you raise your right hand, and we will swear you in. And I will say to you what it is you are to say, and then you repeat it. I, your name,
Aaron Davis,
swear that the testimony that I give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, consider yourself sworn in. Now, should you get to speak, one of the things that we do have are certain rules of decorum. You may speak to the subject, whatever is on your mind. You may not be abusive. You may not be profane. You may not be out of order. This has to be run in accordance with good taste. I'm sure that there are any number of you who have a particularly strong feeling on that. And I'm positive that you're quite capable of articulating what your feelings are without becoming abusive, profane, but we can get that done. Okay, we have an officer with us here, Officer Bachnicki. If I or either of my two colleagues feel that we have a problem, I'll ask you to leave. And Mr. Bachnicki will see to it that you do. Okay? Now let us introduce who we are. This is Mr. Dennis Shaw. I am Rick Stevens. I'm the current chairman of the trustees. This is Mr. James Ewing. Okay, with all of that done, the first introductory that we have to do is to let you know that part of the process was, and some of you were there, that this has to be heard by the Zoning Commission. And we have a letter from them. Dear Washington Township trustees, a request for rezoning the property located at 9764 US Route 22, Stoutsville, has been made by the property owners, Thakur Bastula, Bimb Bastula, Durga Timsina, Ganesh Gamer, and Tara Dwangana, in order to operate a custom slaughter business. The Washington Township Commission held a public meeting on July 24th, 2018. Approximately 40 township residents and 3 of the gentlemen who requested the zoning attended the meeting were each given 5 minutes to voice their opinions or ask questions. At the conclusion of the meeting, it was evident that the residents were opposed to this type of business. On August the 6th, 2018, Washington Township Zoning Commission met to discuss what recommendations should be made to the township trustees. Each member of the commission was given an opportunity to share their opinions. All 5 members were opposed to granting the rezoning request for the following reasons. A, the business does not follow the 2012-13 development plan. B, rezoning the property to rural business does not fit into the development plan. C, a petition signed by township residents and presented to the board at the July 24th meeting indicated there is no interest in this type of business. D, all township residents or representatives attending the public meeting were opposed to the potential rezoning. For these reasons, the Washington Township Zoning Commission is to disapprove the rezoning application submitted by the above-mentioned property owners, respectfully, signed by Sandra Davis, the Secretary of the Washington Township Zoning Commission, and that commission was headed by Roger Conkle, who is here, but due to the crush has given space for others to give in and is outside. So this was what was forthcoming from his office. The procedure here shall be to hear from those folks who want to have a rezoning done, for them to make their case for it to be rezoned. The word hearing must be emphasized here. We are to hear what it is that is said, and to consider what is said in light of what our zoning law is, and in light of what our developmental plan is, and in light of what our community's feelings are, so that we have a number of things that we have to consider. So first on the list is going to be to see if there is a person here, Thakur Bastula, here to make a presentation why we should change this to Thakur here. Okay. Vim Bastula. Is Vim here? Durga Timsina. Is Durga here? Ganesh Gamar. Is Ganesh here? Tara Dwangana here. It would appear as if the individuals who were to make the case to have this rezoned are not present, and the time is 7:38. We have done all the appropriate background information and given them an opportunity. So we would be at the situation where we need to consider, should we have anyone here make a testimony as regards this? Let me take a wild guess. Is there a soul here who has come for the purpose of testifying that this should be an allowed change of zoning? Okay. That sounds like one of our normal meetings. We don't have anything. Okay, that being the case, I would gather that these 3 sheets of individuals who have chosen to speak, or one and a part, have pretty much the same attitude that if they spoke the last one that they have now, that they are against the changing of the zoning. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about that area. There is some of that area that does have commercial in it. It was rezoned, or it was zoned because it was permissible at the time that those properties went in there as commercial to be commercial back 400 feet. And it was underneath what was considered community commercial. The activities there were supposed to be, good for the commercial, for the community. And some of the activities were there even before that type of zoning. They are what you call grandfathered in. We use the language pre-existing, non-conforming. And so we have some of that. In 2013, there was a developmental plan that was written that said that 22, other than some specific areas, shouldn't be commercial, should be residential. 22 is US 22, not township 22, not county 22, not state 22, US 22. It is a high-speed highway. And if you would ask Officer Bachnicki, he has never found it necessary to stop anyone from driving under 62 miles an hour. Okay? So it is a relatively high-speed road. So that comes into consideration that has to be made. So as we take a look at it, we're in the situation that we need to either accept what it is that the Zoning Commission has proffered to us, which would be to disapprove the request, allowing it to remain rural residential. That's pretty much what's before us, because we've got the applicant not here to make their case for themselves. So, gentlemen, what would be your pleasure?
I guess I would move that we adopt the recommendation of the Zoning Commission regarding the property on Route 22 East.
9764 US 22.
9764, and this would deny the rezoning of this to commercial because it doesn't fit with our development plan.
Now, even though you folks are here, and even though we are sensitive to what you say, you heard what he said about development plan. We're kind of caught on the horns of our own rules.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There it is. Now, since they're not here, I don't know if they intend to continue to live there. I don't know if they intend to sell. I don't know if they intend to use it in some way or in what way. I've got no clue. They're not here for us to speak with or to know anything about it. Okay, so I can't answer any questions about what's going to happen to the property other than to tell you it is rural residential and will stay rural residential. Gentlemen, we have conducted the only piece of business that we had to do.
I know we adjourned.
I second that motion,
Yeah.
but I do want to say, if any of you guys, since you did come out, want to talk to us, we didn't know they weren't going to
There's
be
a
here.
couple things I was unsure about. Can I ask?
Yeah.
First of all, has it just not switched over on the auditor page? Because right now it says the owner of that property is Tammy Myers, the realtor. Hey, that's here.
Most, we've got a person who's speaking and can't be heard because everybody else chose to talk. She was asking the question, to whom does the property belong? And she has been on the auditor's page to discover that it's still listed with the original owner. And what you need to know is the auditor's page may be as much as 30 days or more before it gets turned over. So it isn't there. So
I have one more question. Okay. Like I keep hearing 25 acres. You know, I know this is like this what this is about, but you know, different papers and things have reported 25 acres. I keep hearing that figure, 25 acres.
well, it's our understanding, and we have pictures that come from the auditor that indicates that there is a part of the property that is listed underneath one number, N31-0-001-00-39-2-13, which is approximately 5.01. And then another parcel, which is N31-0-001-00-39-20, which is approximately 16 something. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 21-ish to 25-ish, you'd probably catch it. If you was to go on to the auditor's site and to chase it down a little bit more thoroughly, you might find it right down to the 1/10 of an acre. But unfortunately, the paperwork that we have doesn't have that. Did you see it there anywhere, gentlemen?
No.
We're attempting to go through our packet now to see. See, it was classified as agricultural for the purposes of taxation and as cash grain general farm at the time. But specific total acreages are not shown here. I didn't find it anywhere, gentlemen, did you?
No.
Okay, I was just confused where that number was.
But 5.01, a little bit over 16 is what we understood.
Are you sure you're looking at the proper address? Because we bought 9800 and 9804, and this is Tammy Myers.
I'm Tammy Myers.
So,
They bought.
I'm clear.
I'm thinking you may have the wrong address.
Okay. Since we're here, we may be adjourned from the purpose for which we were here, but if there are some questions related to it, we can certainly hear
Hey Rick,
it. Sir,
back here.
all right,
You know me, I'm Jeff Phillips, at 9700, I live right next to the
next to
property.
Jason.
There was an effort to clean up the property, which has become very overgrown. And just wanted to make sure, is the township gonna make sure that the property remains cleaned up? What kind of?
They testified at Mr. Conkle's meeting that they thought that they had this taken care of and that the person who was supposed to do it let them down. And they had to make other arrangements to get it done.
Yeah, they did make an effort.
No, he said, and I just didn't do anything about it and didn't call anybody else.
Yeah, they made an effort.
He admitted, he said it's
It's
my
a lot
fault,
better
I didn't do
than
anything.
Well, the only thing we can do is keep an eye on it now.
I drove in there the other day and it didn't look like right around those initial buildings. I didn't go back in too far because I didn't know what was underneath.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like it had been grown up too awfully bad, but it also didn't look to me like it had been mowed in the
Yeah, they had a
last.
couple kids with bush hogs out there.
Yes.
Yeah, about what, 2 to 3 weeks ago, they had somebody out there just
Okay.
before that last meeting that we
Okay.
had here.
So once this ends here, are there can this go forward? I mean, do you know, or is this it, or can they like
They talked about
pursue,
Mr. Neese's,
Can they reapply?
or just, I guess, pursue
They go
other
through Mr.
methods?
Their next place is the county,
And
is
that's what they'll do.
at the courthouse.
Okay.
They see Randy Neese.
But now that
Now, then, one of their problems they're going to have if they go to see Mr. Neese, Mr. Neese is not going to be real interested in what the decision that we made was. He is going to be interested in whether or not all parties had due process and had the right of citizens to make application and were heard and were given honest and fair. Now, I'm going to tell you honest and fair at the zoning commission. And you were here to see that we called on them one at a time and they were not here.
Yeah.
That's my understanding that they feel that they aren't wanted here and they don't know that they want to go through with this process. Okay, so if that's the case, then we may or may not hear from them again until such time as maybe they're going to sell it or do something different with it. I don't know. But our situation is it's rural residential. It stays where it's at. Should they come to reapply, that ship has already sailed. That ship is already sailed. That can't be revisited. What's changed? You know, did you not get a fair hearing before? Did you not have an opportunity to make your case? What have you? So that's the way it's done. Okay, gentlemen,
I have one question, Ray.
yeah,
I'm Paul Martin, and I did sign the paper. This was presented as one parcel as 20 acres, right?
well, it is listed here on the auditor's report as being 2 parcels.
Okay. So they can't say, well, we went for the whole kit and caboodle, now we wanna just rezone the front 5.101 and start a new thing.
That's what they initially asked for, was the 5 acres.
Okay.
The thing of it is,
That's what I was trying to find out.
it's my understanding is they applied for the property underneath its mail address. Both parcels are shown as being under that mail address.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's one and the same.
But what I'm saying is, if that was done as a full thing, can they now split that and come back as a 1 parcel front and start this all over again? Or is that just, it's done, it's done?
Well, as far as I would be concerned, it would be done because all avenues of due process have been exhausted. They've been given every opportunity. Sir?
Yes, Rick, I'm making one comment about that. Having been through this personally, previously, there is another process they can take up and going through these. They can file a petition and have 8% of the voters in the township for the last governor's election. And,
They will get old and die before that. What he's talking about, that they'd be able to do it by popular acclamation. And given the popular non-acclamation, I doubt. Now, the officers here will gladly cite anybody who bangs into anybody else's car. So use due discretion in exiting, okay? All right? Thank you folks for coming. Bye-bye.